today is really a special meeting because we have to address some issues that arose as a result of what happened in the House. So it's not going to be a long meeting. It really relates to a decision that in the start of this administration, given the configuration politically, we had agreed that given that the opposition with most votes had become part of government, and therefore the official opposition is the MK party. And we have ensured that particularly on issues of discussions in the House, most importantly, like the debates, the MK will actually be uppermost. But on declaration, that had not been applied, which therefore caused an issue of concern among members on Tuesday in the House. And I therefore ruled that we would have to have this meeting so that we just finalize this matter once and for all, so that it does not arise once again. So, honorable members, we have an agenda before you, which has been circulated. And can I get any apologies for this meeting? Honorable Manye, I can see you.
Am I allowed to speak, Speaker?
Is that the apologies?
No. I raised it before you spoke about apologies. I'm probably on item 2 on consideration of the agenda.
Or can we start with apologies and then we'll consider the agenda?
All right. Okay.
Can I get apologies? Honorable Papane?
Good afternoon. Okay.
Good afternoon, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. I have an apology of Honorable Chief Whip of the ANC. He will be joining the meeting. Thank you. He's still held up in another meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Secretary to the NA, you wanted to give some apology, Mr. Klaso?
Good afternoon, Madam Speaker. Yes, we have received an apology from Dr. Warnoff.
Okay, thank you. These are the two apologies, unless there's any other hand from another party who want to propose any apology. Honorable Mgwena Zondi.
Thank you, Speaker. I have an apology from Honorable Van Rooyen.
Thank you very much. The apology has been noted. There being no other agenda, can we move to item 2 on the consideration of the draft agenda? Honorable Manye, you said you wanted to speak on this matter?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Yeah, I wanted to suggest we deal with a related matter on this one as we talk about these speaking sequences and what have you. That and the point I wanted to introduce or to put to the meeting for consideration is the issue of the principle of opposition in everything that we do as enshrined in the Constitution, so that our democracy is alive. Now, there's a situation here where, for instance, if there are debates and all of that, that you find a situation where, let's say, the executive...
Manye, can you propose the agenda item so that we can then consider the adoption of the agenda?
All right. Okay. The discussion on the inclusion of the official opposition as part of the sweeping, as a standard item of a sweeping opportunity for opposition, for leader of the opposition.
Can I
talk
propose,
to it more than when you get it.
Honorable Manye, can I propose that you actually table this matter formally with the supporting documentation so that at least everybody can have an opportunity to engage with your proposal? Because for now, unfortunately, it only comes now in the meeting. I noted, so I would request that maybe we deal with it in the next meeting,
Covered,
if you
Speaker.
agree with me. Thank you. I see Honorable Ghana.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I wanted a short item after the discussion on the composition of the Chief Whip, which will be a referral to the subcommittee on rules dealing with oral questions to the President and Deputy President. It's an issue relating to the rotation that is currently being applied. I will not be longer than 2 minutes in my submission on that particular issue, Madam Speaker. Thanks very much.
Honorable Ghana, I would again propose, as you yourself have said, that let's refer this matter to the subcommittee on rules. I will propose that matter, we refer it on the subcommittee on rules and not deal with it today. But I understand that you are saying the issue you want us to refer to the subcommittee on rules relate to the rotation of speaking in terms of the questions to the president and the deputy president, but it won't be able to be discussed for today. Thank you very much. Honorable Michalakis.
Good afternoon, Madam Speaker. Thank you. Madam Speaker, I would like to move for the adoption of the agenda as it appears on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have any seconder? Honorable
Seconded,
Papane?
Madam. Oh, sorry.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I second the adoption of the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, as I've indicated that the purpose of this meeting was really to deal with a matter that arose in the House on Tuesday. I will then ask the Secretary to the National Assembly to make a presentation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. If colleagues could project the document. Madam Speaker, we have circulated our submission, and I would like honorable members to note paragraph 1, paragraph 2. Paragraph 2 is important because it takes us to what was discussed and decided at the start of this parliament in terms of how we would arrange the speaking sequence during debates, and specifically for such sessions as State of the Nation Address and the opening of Parliament. Now, in paragraph 3, we indicate here that that approach has since been generally maintained in debates. So when we have a bill, you would have the minister, you would have a member of the largest party, you would then have the opposition, and then you'd have the Democratic Alliance and the other parties, with the exception of like your ministerial statements, your declarations of vote, and sometimes condolence motions as well, where the largest party speaks last. And then here on paragraph 5, we indicate the proposal that we are making. And here we are also indicating that the times allocated for declarations of vote will not be affected by this because they are in terms of the strength of the party, in terms of the numbers of the proportional strength of the party. Then paragraph 6, this is where we're making the proposal. The only difference here, Madam Speaker and honorable members, is that where the DA would have been the first party in that order. The DA is now being moved to speak just before the ANC. And that is a proposal we're making because the contention on the day was that the opposition should speak first. And we think that this proposal achieves that request from the official opposition. That is our submission, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Mr. Kaso. Can we now move to Honorable Mani?
Thank you, Speaker. Firstly, Speaker, I just want to check if the principal the principal approach of this meeting in terms of what is before us. Whether is it the principle that whatever was agreed on, whenever it was agreed on, is cast in stone, it cannot be changed. I just need to understand that before I engage here. What is our posture in terms of what is before us? Are other things cast in stone, or everything is what's the right English word for it is up for discussion? What is the principle, Speaker?
I'm not sure whether when you talk about the principle of casting of whether issues are cast in stone, as I indicated in my opening, that actually in the start of this parliament, you'll recall that this matter arose and we had to discuss it on the basis that initially we used the strength of the parties on what they've received from the elections. And there was a pointed matter that was raised by members to say, but while that may be the case, you now have a situation that that party whose strength rather might have been higher and part of the opposition is now part of the government, and therefore it cannot be the official opposition, and therefore the official opposition would be the MK party. And that's what first we dealt with as a matter of principle. And therefore, the second question was, in terms of the speaking order, what then should happen? You'll remember that initially the debate was whether, though the party with the second largest vote must come, first, the decision was then made to say, given that the party is now in government, the official opposition, therefore, is the MK party. And therefore, in terms of the principle, it will be the first on those debates. It's just that in the application of that matter, which we should have done from the beginning, would have been for it to follow even on the issues of declarations. So that's what we're trying to correct as it was raised on Tuesday.
Can I come in, Speaker?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, okay. Firstly, just for the sake of progress, the first recommendation that the MK must come first, I think we will accept that. After the largest party had spoken and so on, then the MK, just like we do in debates, that we accept. The issue that we have a challenge with is a situation where there is double dipping by the DA. If the DA is part of the executive, if the DA accepts the constitutional principle of a cabinet that must take collective responsibility, then there should be no need for the DA to come just before the ANC at the end, because the executive that speaks there at the end is executive of cabinet, which the DA is part of. Now, the situation that we've tolerated thus far is that the DA is double dipping. The DA is when it likes, it is the executive. It is part of the executive. They make laws. They agree with the ANC. They make laws. When it suits them again, they are also opposition. They must get all the privileges. It's not fair. It also not only is not fair, it actually violates the constitution, because what has been happening in that National Assembly is that you then find the DA criticizing the ANC on government policy, yet they're part of government. And they don't take the collective responsibility with the ANC on all issues. It's only selective on what they agree on other things they don't agree on, and what they don't agree on, they go and disagree with the ANC in the National Assembly. I'm saying that posture of the DA is unconstitutional. So I'm uncomfortable here, Chairperson, Honorable Speaker, to say we must agree to institutionalize an unconstitutional principle. Because if we agree to this proposal, it means we're agreeing to the undermining of the Constitution, the Section 93, that talks to the issue of collective responsibility of cabinet.
Honorable Manye, let me just say that I think in your response, you are bringing certain issues in terms of how you understand the posture of the DA. Here, as Parliament, we're making a proposal taking into consideration first the decision that was made in the start of the process. And I'm not sure about the double dipping, because here the DA will speak once like any other party. So I may not be sure whether are we addressing the same issue, because here we're debating the issue of the sequencing of the declaration in terms of how parties will present, particularly because the issue was raised about why in this instance of declaration, the MK party, which is an official opposition, is not the first in line. So that's the issue we're addressing. Can I now allow Honorable Papane, Honorable Ghana, and Honorable Machalakis, and Honorable no data, do you still have your hand? Because I see it is like it's removed now. Okay, let's start. Honorable Papane.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to accept the proposal by the NA table. I think it's a good proposal. We agree with it. The other issues that the honorable member is bringing to this meeting, they can leave it to the ANC and the DA. We are not discussing that here. What we are discussing is the sequence on the declarations. I think let's not mix issues. Let's deal with what is before us. Thank you very much. We agree with it. Thanks, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ghana.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I do support the proposal that has been tabled. I have no problem with it. And just to say that on committee reports, there's no member of the executive that speaks. So you must not try to bring issues that don't belong on this particular topic. We are dealing with committee reports here and not member statements or normal debate. So there's no member of the executive that speaks on committee reports. It will be members of political parties that make declarations, and every party in parliament has been voted for and has to participate in all the debates of parliament. So that's the point that I wanted to raise. But we support the proposal. We have no problem with it.
Thank you, Honorable Michalakis.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I do not wish to enter into a debate on matters that aren't on the agenda right now, but I do want to just point out one or two things. The first one is that, as members have said, this is for declarations on committee reports, not for debates. So every party gets one opportunity to speak. The parties are listed there in accordance to their size. So we have two options. There is no double dipping from the DA, as you have pointed out. The DA has one opportunity to speak. Either, if we take it according to size, the DA will speak first, as it has been. I do not have a problem speaking later in the sequence and allowing the MK to speak first. As I have indicated before, we acknowledge the MK as the official opposition, but also the opposition does not have a monopoly in the House on holding the executive to account. Parliament is not the executive, and every single member, regardless of their party, has an obligation to hold the executive to account. So executive accountability is not the exclusive domain of the opposition. Having said that, since we do acknowledge that the MK is the official opposition, I'm happy to allow them to speak first and to have the current sequences. So I would like to support Honorable Mpapane and Honorable Ghana in saying that I am happy with this sequence. If this sequence does not suit the official opposition, where they can now speak first, then my alternative submission, Madam Speaker, would be that, as in debates, that the sequence starts with a governing party, followed by the official opposition, and then ends with the governing party as well. In which case, we will just go back to the simple former sequence where the DA opens, then the MK, EFF, so forth, until the ANC. So those are the two sequences, but we can't have our cake and eat it. In normal sequences during debates, a governing party opens and a governing party closes, followed immediately in the second place by the official opposition. If that's what the MK wants, the DA is more than happy to speak first. However, they have requested to speak first. We have graciously allowed that to happen in this sequence by supporting it, and therefore we will take our place second to last, just before the ANC. That is our position, but Madam Speaker, for now, if that alternative is not acceptable, that we speak first to the MK, we will happily support this proposal that is before the Rules Committee. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Nodada.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, and good afternoon to everyone. Honorable Speaker, I've been covered by the Honorable Mkhalaikis, Mpapane, and Ghana. I just want to repeat what I said even in the Chief Whip's Forum, Madam Speaker. We're dealing here with the sequence of portfolio committee reports, where every single political party of the 18 is represented in Parliament. And when we do allocation of time, it's through proportional representation. And each political party gets one opportunity to speak on those reports. And it is our responsibilities as members of Parliament, despite whether our political parties are in government or not, to make sure that we hold the executive accountable collectively, inclusive of our own. So when we talk about principle and the rule of law, we're talking about making sure that the rules are not banned because it suits certain people and not other people. And there's no political party who does not get an opportunity to speak on reports of Parliament based of proportional representation because we received a certain number of votes. The second point I would like to make, Honourable Speakers, is the point that Honourable Mkhalakis just made, just to emphasize that Parliament is set up in such a system where there is proportional representation and the acceptance that the official opposition on principle must be given the space to occupy in Parliament. And it is important for us to acknowledge that. And that's why I support this proposal, because the official opposition gets the opportunity of first respondent in debates and in these reports. And ultimately, the principle of proportional representation is not lost because the second largest party in Parliament is obviously given the space to be able to represent their views in the allocated time and the opportunities that they get. So it's important for us to balance the two of making sure that we know what debates are about, where the official opposition responds, but we don't forget the principle of proportional representation because we can't wish that away. Alternatively, you will then have all the opposition speak first, including the smaller parties in opposition, and then the governing parties then speak second. Then you mess up the whole system because, there is no acknowledgement of proportional representation. So I just think that we need to argue things based on principle, not on feelings or political views. And make sure that when we set up these rules, we set them up understanding those different elements. So in this regard, I support the proposal that has been made, Speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Nkwena Zondi.
Thank you, Speaker. Sorry, if you don't allow me to, please use my video. I'm just going to again emphasize that the MK Party is the official opposition. And obviously that is not a matter of opinion. It's a current political reality that we are faced with. And with that comes a simple expectation that we must be afforded the opportunity to speak first. So we agree with the proposal of the table. It's reasonable.
We're losing you. Honorable Nkwena Zondi, we're losing you.
No, let me assist, Chair.
Not have it both ways.
Oh,
And cannot be in the cabinet in opposition tomorrow. In fact,
Honorable Ntuli, you had raised
I don't know if
your
you can hear
hand.
me now.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. And just as a last bite, I'll say, in fact, that's what one would think, that they are actually the opposition, because even right now, up to today, even their signage is still claiming that they are the official opposition. that they haven't quite decided what they are. So maybe that's where the chaos actually starts from. But it is a reasonable proposal by the by the table, and we will gladly support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ntuli. You had your hand up. Are you
Good,
still
af- good, good afternoon, Madam Speaker and all honorable members. No, I am covered. That's why I withdraw my hand. Thank you. Did you hear me, Madam Speaker?
I've withdrawn my hand as well, Speaker. My chief whip has spoken. I'm covered.
Okay. No, thank you very much, honorable members, and thank you for your consideration. We have now adopted the report that has been presented by the NA table. I just want to refer the two matters that have been raised by members that would like us to discuss, but they would have to make a table documentation for that in the subcommittee on rules so that it can be ventilated before they come here. The third matter, I would like to also refer to the rules for their consideration and finalization, is the setting up of the youth caucus. We've got a number of young people in parliament, and I think it is important that we also afford them an opportunity to reflect on issues based from the youth constituency and see how they can input on the legislative program of parliament, but also other important areas that young people may want to make an input. But again, we refer that matter to the subcommittee so that it can be brought back to the Rules Committee in terms of the recommendation. Honorable members, once again, thank you very much for accepting to have this important but brief meeting at this time.
Ma'am?
Meeting?
Ma'am?
Yes,
Ma'am?
yes. Yes.
There's another
Kapo?
item, Madam Speaker. There's a second
Well,
item, Madam Speaker.
oh, in my
The composition of
item,
the Chief Whip's Forum.
in my items is only the consideration of speaking, debates, and declaration of votes.
We apologize for that, ma'am. If the colleagues could please place their agenda on the screen. The composition of the Chief Whip's Forum, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, honorable members. Can we deal quickly with the composition of the Chief Whip's Forum?
Yeah. Madam Speaker, this matter has been canvassed in the Chief Whip's Forum, and there's agreement. We are bringing it before this committee for adoption. If colleagues could please place the document on the screen. This is the composition, proposed composition, which, as I indicated, has been discussed in the Chief Whip's Forum, that the Chief Whip's Forum will now consist of the House Chairpersons, the Chief Whip and Deputy Chief Whip of the largest party, the Whip responsible for programming, and the parliamentary councillors to the President and Deputy President, and the number of members that the Speaker may determine with the concurrence of the Rules Committee, provided that each party is entitled to at least one representative on the forum. Go down, please, to the bottom of the page. Yes, and this is the composition we are requesting the Rules Committee to adopt. In addition to what I've mentioned already, so the ANC 1, which would then make the ANC have 4 members on the Chief Whip's Forum, DA 3 members, MK 2, EFF 2, and 1 member from each of the other parties represented in the NA. The reason why we've put it like this and not included these numbers in the actual text of the rules is to allow for flexibility, because in the next parliament, the membership of the House or the strength of the parties could change. So this enables the Rules Committee to be able to amend the numbers. So, Madam Speaker and honorable members, this is what we are placing before this forum for adoption, so that going forward, this is how the Chief Whip's Forum will be constituted. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Mr. Paso. Honorable members, this matter, as has been indicated, has been consulted among the chief whips, is just presented to us for adoption. I see the chief whip of MK Party and the member of the MK Party too raising their hands. Honorable Kwanazondi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. When we go, if you could just go back to the composition, I think it was page 1. The Chief Whip Forum shall consist of. I just have a proposal of an amendment to the effect that the provisions explicitly recognizes and lists the Chief Whip of the official opposition in order to again remove any ambiguity and ensure procedural clarity consistent with the status of the official opposition within this House. Thank you.
Thank you. That has been noted. Is there any other member who wants to make an input? Honorable Michalakis?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I believe that this proposal covers what is necessary. However, I do want to say that if the proposal of the Chief Whip of the Opposition is entertained, that recognition should be given to all three officially recognized Chief Whips, the largest party, the second largest party, and the Chief Whip of the Opposition, if we want to make it that explicit. But I believe that proposal was before the Chief Whips Forum, and the Chief Whips Forum has decided to go for this alternative. So I would propose that we adopt the proposal that we have before us today. However, if the proposal of the Chief Whip of the Opposition is entertained and adopted, I would then, just for the sake of fairness, propose that all three officially recognized Chief Whips are
You're controlling
included in
the
that
screen.
proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Papane.
Please controlling it.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me start by saying that I think the proposal that is made by the NA table, it's a fair proposal, reminding all of us that the Chief Whips Forum is just a consultative forum. It's not a forum of taking decisions. Decisions are taken in the National Assembly Programming Committee. So I think it's a fair proposal, because even the rules recognizes the chief whip of the largest party. Other than that, he is the one who's chairing the Chief Whips Forum. If he's not there, one member from his party will be chairing. The Deputy Chief Whip will be chairing, because these are recognized by the rules. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mzwanele Manye.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Speaker, I'm guided, despite us people saying we are anti-constitutional. Of course, we want the constitutional dispensation changed, but as long as it stands, we'll respect it. And it is the official opposition is recognized in the Constitution. This is the supreme law of the land, recognizes the official opposition. And therefore, everything else below the Constitution must, by principle, give effect to the provisions in the Constitution, Chairperson. So we can't have a situation where the official opposition is clouded with
Honorable
all
Manye,
kinds. Yes.
Honorable Manye, I thought your chief whip had made a point. Unless you're coming
Yeah,
with
no.
proposal.
That point was responded to, and I'm just saying, before you make your closing remarks on this point, Chair, let's re-emphasize the issue here, that with the inputs that have been made, that the chief whip of the official opposition will definitely not be persuaded by I was persuaded earlier with the earlier submission. This particular submission is not persuasive, because as things stand from A to E in this recommendation, it's really just the ruling people, if you like. So we are saying, in order to maintain the balance as required by the constitution of this country, let's have the chief whip of the official opposition as one of these sub paragraph 1, must be in that list. Then the rest can follow as per. In fact, it should be the new E, or rather the new D, or rather the
Honorable
new C.
Manye, we will deal with the issue of whether there is an A or E.
Yeah, the
We've
new
taken
C.
your point. Can we please
Yeah.
not prolong this meeting unnecessarily?
Okay, the new
Honorable
C should be
Notaja.
the new C should be the chief whip of the opposition.
Honorable Manye, I've recognized Honorable Notaja.
No, thank you so much, Speaker. I think, Speaker, it goes back to the point I just made before this. This proposal recognizes the proportional representation of parties in Parliament, and I think it's reflective of how our rules have been structured since we came in since 2024. And I would like to move for the adoption of this particular proposal as is, Speaker. If it hasn't been moved for before, and if it has been moved for, I would like to second it, and then we are able to move forward, because the rest is just technicalities that are neither here nor there. Thanks.
Thanks. Secretary to NA, you wanted to say something?
Madam Speaker, I wanted to just remind honorable members that in the Chief Whips Forum, it was agreed that the composition of the Chief Whips Forum must be aligned to that of the NAPC. This is exactly how the NAPC composition is drafted in the rules. It says Chief Whip of the largest party, the Deputy Chief Whip of the largest party, the number of party representatives that the Speaker may determine with the concurrence of the Rules Committee. That's the principle that was agreed to in the Chief Whips Forum. This will mirror what we have in the NAPC with appropriate adjustments, obviously. And this helps to just maintain some drafting consistency as well in terms of the rules. That is why, Madam Speaker, we have placed this before this meeting. Thank you so much. And we have attached the first report of the NA Rules Committee, which contains the composition of the NAPC for reference, if members would wish to refer to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Mngwana Zondi.
Thank you, Chair. Now that there has been a move on a certain proposal, I would like to also move for my proposal to be adopted for the amendment to include the Chief Whip of the official opposition. Thank you.
Honorable members, I would like to bring this meeting to a close. This matter was canvassed in the Chief Whips Forum. I find it very difficult. Some of the Chief Whips will now come in this meeting to contest a discussion that they should have contested in the meeting of the Chief Whips. And therefore, I would like us to agree on the proposal that has been tabled as is. Honorable Mpapane, are you coming with a different position? Because I'm closing the meeting.
Honorable Speaker, I want to second the move by Honorable Nodada to accept what has been presented to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, honorable members. This brings us to the end of the meeting.
Before you do,
Honorable
Speaker, sorry to give an opportunity for objection.
No, Honorable Manye, we can note your objection, but as I said, this discussion was held by the Chief Whips in the Chief Whips Forum. And that's where the matter should have been resolved.
What if I propose that the matter goes back there instead of it being resolved here?
You can table another new agenda item in the Chief Whips Forum, but as of now, we accept the recommendation that comes from the Chief Whips Forum as is. If you want to reopen the matter in the Chief Whips Forum, I think the party can reopen that matter, but as of today, this matter has been closed. Thank you very much, honorable members. This brings us now finally to the close of the meeting.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Hi.